Good evening et bonsoir à tous. Thank you, Deborah, for those very kind words. I see that you got the very lengthy text that my mom sent you, so I'm glad that all came together. I am so excited to be here this evening and even more thrilled to be starting the next chapter of my career with such a tremendous organization that does incredible work for women and inclusion. It's a huge privilege for me. And it's also a privilege to be speaking with all of you because this is a very special night. And for those of you who know me, it's not just because I really like a great party. So let me start with a couple of very important thank yous. First to RBC, our dinner sponsor, and Dave, you as our dinner chair. I think as most of you know, RBC and its commitment to championing diversity and inclusion is exemplary. And Dave, your leadership is an ongoing testament to that. So thank you for chairing this, our signature fundraising event. In fact, back to the book. So RBC has very kindly provided copies of a book entitled Speak Up for Inclusion. There's one at each of your tables. One lucky guest gets to take this book home. So I will let you guys decide who. You can play some table games. You can do like the birthday thing or whatever you want to do. But what I will say is, first of all, it's a beautiful book. It is a beautiful book. Have a look inside. I think you want to start grabbing quickly. And for those of you who don't get the book, there is a postcard. There are postcards at your tables describing how you can link to the ebook. But this is really, it's spectacular. The photos inside are beautiful. So please take advantage of that. I'd also like to thank Deloitte, who sponsored our pre-dinner reception, and hopefully you all enjoyed that, as well as our important session on courage at today's Catalyst Canada Honours Conference. And CIBC, who sponsored our first ever corporate board summit in partnership with the 30% Club today. It's frankly, it's sessions like these that really go a long way towards helping to accelerate progress. My heartfelt thanks goes out to the Catalyst Canada Advisory Board and to all of my very talented colleagues who are around the room who have not only made me feel incredibly welcome, but have made, they've put so much work into this night to make it a success. And I can tell you their dedication and passion for our mission is both infectious and awesome. It is tremendous. So I'd like to thank. This dinner raises about $1 million each year to support Catalyst's mission in Canada, and this is very important work, but I recognize it's work that we really do together. So I look around the room and I see an outstanding group of business leaders, senior government representatives, academics, students from across the country, all passionate advocates for the collective mission of accelerating progress for women through workplace inclusion. We are very, very grateful for your support and inspired by your energy, so thank you for being here. Okay, now over to me. Given this is my first formal speech at Catalyst, I thought I'd share a little bit about my personal story, where I've come from and how it's shaped where I'm going. So, as mentioned, or you may have guessed by my last name, Van Biesen, that I'm of Dutch descent. And for those of you who don't know the Dutch, that's a shame, but I can also tell you that we're known to be hardworking. That's a fact. We are strong-minded, maybe a bit stingy, and for those of you who don't know that you say, let's go Dutch, we know, so, and yes, even a little bit direct, and I can see my husband nodding vigorously now in the audience. But I like to think that I am today who I am because of the incredible, impassioned, and very Dutch mother that I mentioned a little earlier. My mom was born in Rotterdam in the Netherlands, the oldest of 3 children, and in 1944, at the age of 7, her father was taken away to a Nazi labor camp, leaving her with a younger brother and a pregnant mother. My mom helped care for that family, the new baby, and countless neighbors during that very, very difficult time in history. Years later, when it came to decide who would go to university, my mom was passed over for her younger brother, and as was the thinking of the time, he was the boy, and she was going to get married anyway. Luckily, she did to my wonderful father, and they went on to have 3 children of their own, 2 boys and me. But my mom never settled for foregoing her education. When I was in grade 1, she enrolled in university and never looked back. She went on to work throughout my childhood and adult years and retired at the age of 67. She always taught me to aim high and made it clear that she expected the very same academic and career success from her daughter as from her sons. My mother is now 79 years old and has recently learned to speak a fifth language while at the same time battling brain cancer. There's no stopping this woman, and I love her for it. She is still tough as nails, so much so that my brothers and I joke to this day that if she fell backwards, she would break the sidewalk. But there's also a softer, more vulnerable side to my mother, which came out actually when I accepted this role at Catalyst. She sent me a WhatsApp, because she's actually pretty tech-savvy too, and it said only this: "Tanya, congratulations. You are the woman that I never was." Now, aside from the fact that that text made me well up, it also made me question why, as women, we often believe that our great is never quite good enough. At the same time, it's just the kind of thing my hardworking, straight-talking mother would say to motivate me and keep me focused on driving this mission forward. So thank you, Mom. I'm on it. Over the course of my 21 years in executive search, I had the opportunity to work on many board and executive level searches where gender diversity was an important, if not central, part of the brief. Now, I must say, if I had a dime for each time a client said to me, "We need to get a woman, but she has to fit with our culture," or "We want a woman, but we don't want to compromise on quality," suffice to say, I'd be a very rich woman indeed. There continues to be an undercurrent of perceived risk associated with recruiting a woman director or promoting a woman to the executive ranks, even in the face of overwhelming evidence suggesting that the participation of women in business improves financial results, heightens innovation, strengthens organizations' ability to attract and retain top talent, and improves board effectiveness. So there's clearly still much to do. The world is changing, and Dave referenced this. The world is changing at a pace never before seen, and Canada must focus on attracting the best and brightest talent, women and men, to support our economic well-being. The time is now, and the opportunity is clear. Let's grab it before someone else does. Tonight, we celebrate champions who are already making important strides in these areas and setting the gold standard for inclusive leadership in corporate Canada. Frank. Where's Frank? There's Frank. You've been described as relentlessly persistent, extraordinarily brave, and absolutely visionary. And under your leadership, women now represent 40% of Deloitte Canada's board. When you took over, there were no women in leadership. This is incredible. Phil, I know where Phil is because he's at my table. Phil, the effects of your advocacy and championship of women have been felt keenly at PwC. You've not only helped to increase the number of women in senior roles, but you created a wildly successful women in leadership program that's now graduated more than 150 women who are entering the partner ranks. So impressive. Carol. Carol, you are a true trailblazer in a tough, male-dominated function. You're a champion for women and the LGBT community, both inside the bank, TD Bank, and throughout the Canadian business community, and 60% of your team of 700 is comprised of women. Wow. Anna. Anna, you are in a male-dominated sector, the mining sector. You have not only risen to the executive ranks yourself, but have also developed training, mentoring, and coaching programs for women at all levels of Goldcorp, and you are literally a model for your industry. Fantastic. This year, Catalyst also recognizes, for the first time ever, a brand new category of emerging leaders. These amazing individuals, on their way to becoming senior executives, have led diversity and inclusion initiatives that have yielded important, tangible results. Laura, Shilpa, and Jen. Where's Shilpa? Shilpa and Jen. You three are the embodiment of Gandhi's never-to-be-forgotten quote, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." And I'm happy that I heard that quote during the conference today, too. We thank you for your leadership in building and mentoring the so very important pipeline, and we honor and salute you. As referenced earlier, tomorrow the world will watch very closely as history unfolds south of the border. Many of us here in Canada will pause and reflect on the principles and values of leadership and inclusion that we hold so very dear. I think everyone would agree that it's been both a long and often cringeworthy election. But regardless of what happens tomorrow, it's an opportunity for each of us to pause, to revisit where we are today and where we want to be in the future. It's up to all of us. Thank you again for being here. Merci. Please enjoy your dinner.